Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the next exciting episode of Paranormal Axetivities with your host, Ben Axe. In just a few minutes, my lovely wife, Dena, will join me here as we will interview her again, basically talking about her abilities as a. Again, I hate these terms, man. I don't know what we call her. I don't know if we call her an empath or a medium or a fucking psychic. I don't know. I really don't like any of those terms, and they all sound fake. But she does come back, and we talk more about her past a little bit, about what she feels, how she feels it, and how she's able to do the things that she does, basically. So if you have not listened to episode 2 and 3, I recommend it. When I originally, when we recorded this interview, I was going to split it in two, but I think we have enough time. We can go ahead and do it all in one shot here. So, yeah, that's going to be here in just a few minutes. But before that, we got to, first of all, actually, before I do anything else, I do, again, got to be that guy. Huge thank you to all you guys who listen to the show, who have been giving me positive, I mean, they've all been positive thus far, positive comments, positive feedback on the show. It's been awesome. It makes me want to keep doing it. My social media is starting to kind of tick off a little bit more as well. Very exciting. And yeah, man, that's great. Keep telling your friends, all that kind of cool stuff. I actually recently just bought a new computer now, so I can start doing cooler, better things when it comes to the YouTube and live videos and stuff like that. So we're getting a little bit high tech here over here at the Paranormal Axetivities studio. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I hope you're all staying safe. I don't know if we're on the tail end of this corona stuff or not, but I hope you are. I'm kind of sick of it myself. So I have big plans this summer when it comes to doing things for this show, and I need the state to be opened up to do that. So let's hope for the best. And if you just heard that buzzer, my dryer went off. I'm washing towels because I'm an old man. That's what we do. All right, guys. So I know what you're all waiting for. Here is this week's Paranormal Axetivities. Now, I told you guys last week, I kind of briefed you on what went down last weekend. It was pretty crazy. I went back and listened to what I said, and I said pretty much all I needed to say when it comes to that. I think I can't really get into more details than that. And since then, when it comes to paranormal, nothing has happened in my house. Like, I don't think the house is haunted. I just think shit happens sometimes. And after that weekend, I kind of shut down. Like, I was like, nope, we're done for a little bit. Fuck this. And it's worked. Nothing else has happened. But I did forget last week the scariest part, or the most creepiest part of that whole thing. And so I'm going to kind of retell the summed up version, and then, which is already a summed up version of what actually happened. But then, I'll tell you what happened there at the very end. So, at the very beginning of the story that I said on last week's episode, we talked about how Dena, she needed to start, I don't know what word does she use? Now that I'm talking, I forget stuff. But I know I'll think of it like immediately, like the channel. That's the word that she uses. So she wanted a channel on last Friday night. So we did. She started doing her thing. I was like, well, all right, fuck it. Let's whip it out. So I got the recorder out, and she did some channeling for about an hour. And talked to my grandma. She said a lot of stuff that I have to believe is legit. And then something else came through that was pretty not nice, kind of evil, probably a demon of some sort. But we had to kind of push that away. And that was the end of that. It was pretty fucking creepy. That was on Friday night. Saturday, I don't remember much happening. Sunday, honestly, I don't remember now. We're going back. That was a while back now. I drank a lot of beer over the weekend. It was Memorial Day. What are you going to do? But anyway, so that all went down. And then on Sunday night, when I lock the doors up, I have my whole routine of, make sure the alarms in the door are on, all the doors are locked, and that includes the garage door that leads into the garage. I lock that door as well every night, even though it's a one-car garage door. Obviously, you can't break in here, but I'm just a weird motherfucker. That's what I do. So every night, since I've lived here for a year and a half, same routine. So, and then keep this in mind too, every morning I get up at around 4:30 in the morning. So, and I'm usually up before Dena. I'm the first one up. So that Sunday night, I lock everything up, including the garage door. I know I did. That's just what I do. There's no way I forgot to close that door. So I go to bed. Monday morning, I wake up and I come downstairs like I do. Lights are off because I don't turn them on until I get down here, so I don't wake up Dena. And as soon as I come down the stairs and turn that corner, my garage door that leads into the garage where my podcasting stuff is wide open. Like, wide open. Not a crack. Wide open. And that's what made me say, fuck it. I'm telling you guys, I almost said, all right, we're done with this podcast. Like, too much shit's happening, and I don't like it now. So, screw it, I'm out. That seriously crossed my mind when I saw that door open and driving to work. I was like, nope, I'm going to be done. But I got to work. I was like, nah, screw that. I can't let the ghosties win. So we're still doing it. We're still moving forward. But yeah, so that's the activity of the week. I kind of played off last week's activity, but hey, that's what happens, I guess. That's what you got to do. All right, cool. So I think that's enough of that. So we can go ahead and start this interview with Dena. And now, guys, again, keep this in mind. We recorded this interview probably around a month ago. So it may be a little outdated for some of the things that we say. I really don't remember. I didn't listen to the entire thing. But I kept it this far apart for a reason. I didn't want to have her talking too much of the show. We just had her on for episodes 2 and 3. I didn't want her on again for episodes 5 and 6 or whatever. I wanted to kind of give it a break and kind of keep that build up and kind of keep the show moving along. But I think now is a good time to throw her back in. So yeah, so here we go. Let's just go ahead and get the interview with Dena rolling. All right, so joining me right now is the first ever guest on Paranormal Axetivities, my wife Dena.
The first ever guest? Oh, yeah, I'm back.
This isn't the Moose Point.
Sorry, you have like 8 podcasts.
3.
Okay, my apologies.
So we got you back, and your episodes are pretty deep, pretty epic.
Thank you.
It's one of those things, like, the show's kind of evolved since then. Not evolved, but grown, obviously. All kinds of stories, all kinds of things. And one thing that I want to bring to light, I think, is the realism of, I don't like the word psychic, but
I don't like that word either.
But the word sensitive.
I like that word because, like, I don't like psychic. I don't like medium.
I hate both those words.
Thank you. Yeah, because it makes me feel like Shaw's and
if somebody claims to be a medium, I immediately stop listening to them.
Right. It's like
it's silly.
I feel like I immediately am like crystal ball gazing type. Like, no.
Exactly. And then you think psychic, you think Miss Cleo, who got arrested for fucking fraud.
Thank you. Right. Exactly. Monetary gain. Like, that's what you have in mind with mediums and psychics and shit like that. Absolutely. Tarot cards, like all that shit.
Absolutely.
Card tricks.
However,
yes,
you do have an ability,
yes,
I would say, to the sensitive side, more sensitive than myself, more sensitive than probably anybody that I know. Yeah. And I mean, I clearly seen we got together in 2015, end of 2015. Officially,
2015.
And I've probably had more. I'm not going to say it. I've only seen you do this. Thanks. Like, I've had paranormal experiences before that, but they were just your ghost stories that you get. However, I've seen you do things that are beyond that. That's the way to word it.
There you go. Beyond
that.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting. And then since then, I've dealt with you. I've seen your shit. I've listened to podcasts, and I've heard of similar stories, but not
the same,
not as real or gripping. And I guess seeing what you can do in person makes it more real and not a podcast, if that makes sense.
It does, and I appreciate all of that. It makes me feel like what I'm doing, when it happens, I feel validated by those things. But is it more real than like your spirit box experience and your ghost hunters? And...
Well, like I said, fuck ghost hunters. Always are.
Well, when they came to your house, though.
Oh, that paranormal investigation team. Yeah, that was a joke, and I'm very open about how that was a fucking joke.
Okay.
Like that. So, like, and that's what. Well, like, when that story happened, which I have yet to tell on this show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had already.
I have not.
My apologies.
No,
I guess you're gonna have to do that.
For some reason, I don't even know why. I'm building it up.
Okay.
So, like, in each episode that I've done so far, I mention it.
Please don't let them down.
I
You
know.
have so many other epic things. Like, that's not that big of a deal compared to some other stuff that you've done.
Sure, you're right.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, you're right. But it's just, it's just a story. And, like, actually my intent was to tell it for the very first episode of the show, but then I had the coronavirus.
Wow. Yeah.
And
that seeps its way into everything.
Yeah. And so, but we already had your episodes recorded, and I wanted to, for some reason, I wanted to make the first episode, like, my own bullshit.
Yeah.
But your episodes were recorded. I got the virus. I wanted to get it out. I had 2 weeks to get it out without interruption because I was home quarantined sick. The first week, I was super sick, couldn't do anything. The second week it's like, oh, I'll record an episode. Honestly, honey, don't remember what I said. It's online.
I remember that.
Like, I don't remember. It's called The Beginning. It's the very first episode of the show. I don't remember doing it. Like, that's how sick I was. But I did it. It's out. I did not do that story because I wanted to, tell it the right way and not be cloudy in my head. Okay. So I haven't told it yet. I will eventually.
Okay.
But yeah, so what I going back to your question with spirit boxes, with my experience with that, I call you a human spirit box. Like, what you can do, I've seen with the spirit box, but it required the spirit box.
Yeah.
With you, you don't need a spirit box.
No, I don't. That's true.
And so that's why I call you the human spirit box. And I was actually on a podcast like 2 weeks ago called Ghost in the Night, and I told the head of that show, Phil, I told him my wife is a human spirit box.
That's a pretty high honor. Thank you. That's high praise.
I mean, that's exactly what it is, though, because when I was using that little device, the spirits were talking. It was out loud, and they were, calling my name, telling me stories. I would ask a question, they would answer the question, having a conversation with this voice, basically.
Yeah.
At one point, my passed away uncle came across.
Okay. So it's very similar.
Yeah. It was that kind of stuff, and that was back in 2015. So 5 years ago now, and then in 2017, 2018. I start seeing you do the same shit that I saw 3 years ago with this device. But now there's no device, and you're just doing it. You're your eyes are kind of closed. You're in kind of a trance, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're just saying words, and that's what it reminded me of, except it was tranced, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't really
There's no machine.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting. And that's, something that you're not going to see on Ghost Hunters.
No.
Ghost Adventurers. You're going to see, on those shows, you're going to see banging doors and like demons. You're going to say, we're demon a lot.
Lights.
That kind of stuff. And then they're going to go to the commercial break and then come back and act like it was nothing. I mean, that's the formula of that show because that's what gets viewers.
Right.
Shit like this doesn't really get viewers on primetime television.
No, nor should it, because this isn't... I'm very much against manipulating a situation for monetary gain. So,
absolutely,
wanting to exploit something like this that is very precious and pure, because this is pure. This is not something that, I don't know, should be recreated or duplicated or used to boost income. Like, this is just the truth, and it is real, and there is an opportunity for you to connect beyond your day-to-day face-to-face. And the reason that that's important to me is because of my family. I lost my brother when I was only 25, and I lost my mother when I was only 28. Was it 28 or 29?
I honestly don't remember. Whatever summer of 2017 was. Whatever, June 17th. June 17th.
July 17th.
July 17th.
2017 So I lost my brother November 16th, 2013 when I was 24. And I lost my mom when I was July 17th, 2017 when I was 29. And I could not imagine, because I grew up in such an environment where it was the three of us. I mean, we didn't have the dad. There was no dad role.
Right.
So it was the three of us. And I couldn't imagine my life without those people in it.
Just want to point out real quick, during these shows, I have a K2 EMF meter running, as I've said, I think every episode. and it just lit the fuck up. And I have this out every episode again, and you're the only person that's been on the show that has made it light up this much.
Yeah, I know.
And I have it away from everything else. For the last 8 minutes, it has not done nothing.
That made it. That was so strong that I heard it. I heard it squeak.
It just lit the fuck up. So and that's what we've kind of, we talked about that whole story with your interview and stuff, and we kind of gave you your background. And so now we want to dive into
how it works.
And like what it is like. So
yes.
You have all of this, I don't want to say dread, but kind of dread. You have all of this history with negative experience. You lost strong members of your family, and obviously I would say that's part, if not
it is all. It is all. That's
right?
What I was kind of getting to. It is all. Like, so I lost my brother and I lost my mother, and that is your core. That's your first immediate family. That's what you were born into. So if you can imagine yourself, you are the only living family member left. No Abby, Emily, mom or dad. It is you alone. You alone.
I understand.
At 29.
Right.
And if the people listening can imagine themselves that way, alone, they are alone before they are 30 years old, before they are married, before they have children, they are alone. They have no home. Because home is where your mom is, right?
Absolutely.
Home is where your memories are. I am the only memory left. And the hardest thing for me to pack away at the end of all of that loss was I'm responsible for carrying the torch. Nobody shares my secrets. Nobody shares my inside jokes. Nobody shares my laughs. Nobody just knows me. Nobody knows who I am. Like, they don't wake up and just go, oh, well, that's just Dena. People that I meet in the relationships that I make from here on out for the rest of my life, these are the things that are going to define me, because officially now, we are going to live longer together, me and you, than I will have spent with my mom or my brother. Me and you are going to have more time together on this earth than I had with my mother and my brother. You can't say the same to me. You won't be able to say the same to me.
Nor do I want to.
Exactly. So what I chose to do in these moments was stay open to them, because to me, they're not physically here, sure, and they're not, I can't call them up and talk to them, but if I stay open, if I just keep that memory alive in my mind and I don't bury it away and pretend like it never happened or put it on a shelf or whatever, that's what's giving me the opportunity to do these other things. That's the thing that's keeping me receptive to this other shit, which we haven't really defined yet. But because I love them so much and I need them still in my life, and I send out that signal like, no, I need you. I need to hear from you. I need you present. I think that's why I'm able to do other things. It's kind of like I'm in this world 80, 90%, and then I'm, 20, 10% in where they are, because I'm with them too.
That makes sense. So here's my question to you. I mean, you've already answered it to me personally, but I'm not sure you've answered it on the show yet. So, when we're talking about it and this CMF meter, lights up and you're talking to him and Caleb's putting you to bed, like that one story that we have.
Yeah.
So where are they at right now? It's like when ghosts or spirits are in your house, where are they at? What level of existence are they at on your regular day-to-day
experience
stuff?
So here's the thing. You have to stop seeing the world as these physical objects. So it's not, where are they when they're not in my house? It's, where are they when they are with me?
Okay, so what does that mean?
So that means right now they're here. I can feel them.
I can see them.
See them
on this meter.
They are here. But when I reach my arms out and I point here and here, this is just a space for you to recognize and understand as a space so that you can see it as a fact.
Right.
So it's kind of like language. right? There is no literal translation for a saying or a song or a poem, language to language. It takes away the poetry, it takes away the beauty, it takes away some of you convey a message when you are bilingual. You're not saying word for word, this is what that person said. You are saying this is a summary of their words in a way that you understand them. And that's a big thing that you learn when you learn sign language, because it is motions, but it is concepts. All language is a concept and a construct, right? So you understand, where are these people when you are not home? What I am saying is, they are no longer people. They were people, but their soul, their entity, their being, their energy.
Right.
It is bigger than what that experience was when they were inside of their body.
No, I understand that.
It is spread out, and when it is attached to you, it is not hanging out in your house while you're at work.
Right. So here's I guess at the end of the day, here's my biggest question in my human brain that can only comprehend so much. But say your mother, for example, or your brother, both of them, they're here because they love you,
because
love them,
I am here,
and you need them, and they need you.
Yes.
Right. So that's obviously a memory that's connected to you.
Yes.
An energy that's connected to you. So are they always with you?
No.
So what are they doing when they're not with you? The energy has to go somewhere.
It does. You're right.
Energy is,
You're right.
keeps going. So where is that energy located? Let's say tomorrow at noon when you're at work. Where's that energy? What's a possibility? Obviously you don't know, but what's a possibility where that energy could be?
Where they're needed. So they have other loved ones.
Fair. That's a good point.
They have other friends. They have their own things that they want to explore that we don't know.
So and that's what you said to me before, that there's another plane of existence
Yes.
where they're doing their own thing now. And it's not that they're hanging out with their loved ones who are still alive, but
No.
they're also doing their own shit now in their new
Their shit.
plane of existence.
Yeah. That's none of your business.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I don't mean, like, that's...
I'm not asking you to tell me, what's Caleb doing tomorrow?
Right.
What's the schedule say? No, I'm just saying, like, what's going on the other side?
The other side is, it's not for us to understand. So, like, that's a really big thing, and that's a very frustrating answer.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Too bad. Like, it's too... Here's the thing that I understand of it. You are too limited in your experience now to understand what that experience is. So, like, just know that it's a thing. Just know that it is a possibility. But to define it, it's too big. It's way bigger than you. It's way bigger than what you're capable of.
And I agree with that. And there's the popular answer of, when you die, there's heaven, there's hell,
Right.
there's purgatory,
Right.
or there's nothing, it's blackness, and that's it. I feel like it's more complicated than
It is
that.
so much more complicated. It's so much more vast. And it is what you make of it. Like, you are still who you are there. It's just different. You're free. You're so free. Like, there is no weight. Like, there's no, if you really, like, think about the things that you wish you could change in yourself. I wish I was thinner. I wish I was smarter. I wish I was taller. I wish I was prettier. I wish I was faster. I wish I was, kinder. I wish I was more articulate. I wish I could read more. I wish that I wrote more. I wish that I spoke more. I wish... If you took all of the things that you were pushing yourself or wishing for yourself out of yourself, and you just existed purely as yourself, accepting yourself and just doing you, that's what that is. It's you without constraint and limits.
Okay. So here's another question for you. I believe all of that. I'm not arguing it at all.
Okay.
So, but what I also want to know is that what is in store for everybody who dies?
I don't know. What I know is where they are, and I know where they are because that's
What they tell you.
Yes, and it's because it's kind of like when you bring an animal into your home and you get them kind of familiar with your smell,
Okay.
It's just a familiarity thing. I can follow them because they are familiar to me. I don't know about other people and where they are, and quite frankly, it doesn't interest me. And I'm not going to waste my time on it. Like,
that's fair. I was thinking along the lines of, like, what's Adolf Hitler doing?
I don't care.
Because if that dude is sitting around free, that
don't care. Don't care. Don't know. And I would probably have to be exposed to some seriously evil shit to figure it out.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I know where my people are because that's all I care about.
And they want you to know.
Yeah, and they want me to know. And if I was to, have a conversation with somebody like you, or somebody else I care about, where we wanted to talk to somebody that was no longer with us and they were on their little plane of existence, I could pick up on them based on my familiarity with the person that is trying to reach them. I'd get to know, not get to know that person, but know the things about them that I need to know. I don't know. How do I explain it? It's kind of like, it's a different part of my brain that works. It's not... It's primal. It's like a smell, I get to know that person's scent, and then I can sniff out the people that they want to talk to, and then we talk, and that's it. And the thing is, though, is you have to be respectful about the information that you're gathering. The only reason that I know the things that I know is because I was trusted with that information. My brother shares with me. I don't pry my mom with that shit, but I definitely bugged my brother. But, like...
Well, you had that relationship with him when you were alive still.
Yes.
So it would be weird if you didn't.
Exactly.
And that's why... and I feel like that's a big part of it. Not to, like, get off topic, I guess, but, like, just to validate that. I was listening to Jericho's podcast the other day at Mansfield Prison, and the guys who work there said there is one guy in particular who works there now as a guide who used to be a prisoner, an inmate of that prison. And all of these ghosts... talk to him.
Yeah, I could see that because he's very familiar.
Right, but not all sides. But not other people.
Yeah.
And so the spirits who are still there are open to talk to him because he was one of them.
Yes, 100%.
And that was a big topic of that conversation. And that kind of, what you just said, validates what they said.
It's interesting that I say a lot of things that you
it is because
find validation
all the shit that you say. I listen to these podcasts. Like, I never listened to paranormal podcasts until recently,
right?
And all the shit that I'm hearing, you've already told me.
Yeah.
So like, I'm listening to these guys say this shit. Like, I already know this.
Yeah. Well,
so, like,
I don't know.
It's weird.
It's like it's instinct.
Well, that's why I wanted to start this show in the first place. I was like, I already know more than all of this other shit that I'm hearing.
Right. Let's talk about it.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Between that and then talking to others, and again, this K2 is lighting up again all of a sudden. But like, that's what... Exactly.
That's what this is.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it's just... They are where they are, and it's none of your business, and, and you need to respect that. And you can talk to them. The thing is like... People really get off on wanting to challenge and say, if you're this, prove it. No. Like...
That's a big issue that I have with paranormal investigators. Like the investigation team that was at my house back in 2015.
2014.
It was June 2015. The shit started in 2014. It,
gotcha.
Rolled over to 2015. But they came in and they were just saying, hey... Talk to me, bitch.
Yeah, see, no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, if you walked into a building doing that, would you get a response?
It makes zero sense, and I didn't realize that. And then you told me, you made the point a while back, and you told me, they are people.
They are people.
They have feelings like people have feelings.
Would you react to somebody coming into your space and saying, come on, bitch?
And that's when somebody that I know who had a spirit box fucking texted me and said, hey, are those guys in your house right now? By the way, we didn't tell her they were. She asked us.
Yes.
And we were like, yeah, why? Oh, well, Stella, the ghost who we discovered was in her house, just came through my spirit box and said they were in this house, and she don't want them there, and she's not going to say anything because they're making fun of her.
Yep. Because guess what they get to do? They get to hide. Just because you're in there acting a fucking fool. And then they get to play the long game because guess what? You're an ass, you're an ass, you're an ass, you're an ass. Your whole team's an ass. And then the person that invited the team there is an ass.
Well, and that's the thing, too, with a lot of these ghosts and all these investigations, and an issue that, a lot of people who are into the real stuff, not for money, but because they're interested. Like the real investigation teams, as I'll call them, don't really trust the TV people.
And you should not.
Because they're there to get that shit on camera to make money off of it. And ghosts aren't there for your pleasure.
They are not.
They're there.
They are memory.
Yeah. They're there for,
They are like trees.
It's not a circus
They are
act.
like plants.
Right.
They are just a part of the world. You do not control or manipulate or have anything to do with them. And you need to, quite frankly, not be searching them out for joy.
You said that to me more than once when I got interested in, like, I want to go find a ghost. And you're like, they don't want you to go find them.
Yeah. like, respect the boundaries, dude.
And that was like,
would you want to be hunted?
That was kind of the first things that you said. Like, I remember when we first lived together, but not lived together, we first started dating. I think it was like 2016 in my old apartment still. And I was like, it'd be fun to go talk to a ghost. And you're like, I don't think a ghost would want to talk to you right now.
Yeah. You have to be the kind of person they want to talk to before they come to you.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do. And even that being said, when I started the show, we had a lot of stuff happening. And I think at a certain point, that was Crowley, not a ghost. He's stretching.
He is stretching.
But I think at a certain point before I started the show, I was kind of getting pushback. Because I had a lot of stuff happen that prevented the show from getting started earlier.
You did. Yeah, you got a lot of pushback. And I think it was just about you. Here's what I've seen in you. You've grown a lot over the last few years. You needed to be the kind of person that could talk about these things responsibly.
I agree.
Respectfully.
Intelligently.
Openly. Like when we first got together, you were very much like, this is my experience and this is what I know is the truth. And you didn't want to hear what I had to say about how you needed to kind of look at the picture. You fought with me tooth and nail about it. And now you're kind of like, you know what? I yield to you. You have more experience. You know a little bit more. I mean, it's wisdom that comes with it.
I mean, it's maturity, and it's, seeing things and understanding things. And you brought this up last week too. I was on again, bringing up the Ghost in the Night podcast. I recommend it. I was on his show, and we talked about how just talking about ghosts can make things happen.
Yes.
Including, episode 4, we heard the banging on the wall back here when we were in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we got a flat tire.
Back in what year? 2016, November 2016?
November 2016.
We were literally arguing about ghosts.
Yes.
When we got a flat tire.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that until you brought it up.
Here's the thing. Week. Temple of the Dog. Temple of the Dog is a band that exists because their lead singer died. I spent decades, 2.5 decades, in fact, listening to that album, that band, which exists before Pearl Jam, just for that one album, to honor, it's a tribute to Andy Wood. So here we are, all gathering to honor a memory. And on that night, you wanted to argue with me about ghosts.
I don't know how it came up.
By the way, this was also like a week before my brother's anniversary of his passing.
And it was the weekend we moved in together.
It would have been his 3rd anniversary of when he died.
Oh, yeah.
That's how, yes. Like, you don't realize, me and you started dating right before his 2nd anniversary.
I gotcha.
So, this would have been 3 years to the day that he had passed away. Seeing a band that exists to honor a dead guy, and you wanted to argue with me about the other side. Like you fucking know. I'm sorry, like you fucking know. Like, I will toot my horn on that. No. Because until somebody comes up to me and has had the same level of experience burying people that they love, that they have lived with for decades, no. You ain't got shit on me. You don't know.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you now, honey, but I'm saying that's what happened. We were arguing about ghosts.
Yes.
And we got a flat tire.
We got a flat
at
tire.
1 a.m. in downtown Philadelphia.
And as soon as it happened, I was like, God damn it, the only reason we have this flat tire is because we were having this conversation. It was on our way back to the hotel after the concert.
Right. Which, by the way, the lead singer of that concert is now dead.
Yes.
He has since passed away.
Yeah, he passed. That was the night that we saw Temple of the Dog was the first night that Temple of the Dog ever performed as a band.
Right.
Not as an album, as a band.
Right.
And he died
August.
6 months later. No, it was May.
No, was it May? Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously talking about shit can make shit happen.
100%.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a crazy thing, which I think just kind of shows more of your power, or not power, I hate that word, but your ability to
understand.
To link on the other side. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay. You have to go pee, so we'll take a quick break.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Yes.
With Paranormal Axetivities. All right, so basically, like, what I want to know that you don't hear in other shows, I've heard other interviews of people who claim to be psychics or claim to be mediums or claim to have this connection to their side, and all I hear are their stories. I hear, I was here, and I did this, and I talked to so-and-so. What I want to know, because I'm married to a source, and I haven't actually even ever asked you this until right now on April 22nd, is how does it work?
Very good question, for one. Also, great observation, because you're right. These people, and I think we talked about that because you've been doing a lot of episodes here lately. People want to talk about their own personal experiences. Like, this happened to me. This is what I saw. Right. This is what I lived through.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. That people want to tell their story.
Yeah, because it's so unique. It's so different.
Well, that's the thing. They think it is. But
okay.
Is it, though?
Okay. So when I say that, it's unique to their day-to-day.
Right. It is.
Right?
It absolutely
So
is.
it's so different from, I got up on Monday, and before work I did the dishes, and when I came home I did some laundry.
And I thought my story was unique until I started doing this show, and then I'm getting flooded with emails from others who have very similar stories.
And then you kind of got, we're really fast, you got kind of mad at me because I didn't think it was unique when you told it to me.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, but this is a 5-year victory.
It's good and bad. Because
it is good and bad.
It's good because I'm validated.
Sure. Yes, which is like what I like hearing about. Everything that me and you were talking about, I do not do research. I don't do any of that. You know that. You know me. Right. My downtime, if I'm reading like wiki pages about, like Sitting Bull, or I'm reading Harry Potter.
Yeah, I forget. The other morning I woke up at like 2 a.m. and you were like wikiing like something fucking retarded. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, yeah. It was
something random.
So I watched Turn recently.
That's what it was. It was like Revolutionary War stuff.
It really was,
I'm like,
yes.
Okay. So then I turned over and went back to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's whatever interests me at the moment.
And I have a hard time researching paranormal stuff.
Right.
Because I don't believe anybody.
Right. But the exposure that you get, because there will be things that I tell you, and the more you do this, the more comfortable I am with sharing with you what I do. And what I know and what I feel and what I see and what I am. And the more you and I both just talk candidly with each other, the more you validate me. Like,
sure.
And I think that that's really incredible.
I agree.
And it makes me feel, I don't know how to explain it. Like, after talking to you, I feel more grounded, because it's like, oh, so like, because of you doing this podcast or you doing whatever, there are like 20 other stories that you read where people have kind of mentioned the same things that I'm saying. That makes me feel fucking sane.
Validation.
100% validation.
I remember telling my buddies my ghost story that you don't think is that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
At the time, it was for me. It was a long period of time. It wasn't just like an experience. It was a year.
It was a year. Yeah, I had like months worth. Yeah, that's what happens when they stick.
And I remember telling my buddies this, and they're my longtime buddies, and I felt like a fucking idiot as I was saying it.
Was it the Eric?
Eric and Ben. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You felt like an idiot while you were talking?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's just because I don't know if they believe in this stuff or not.
Dude. One thing I have to say, like watching you interact with your friend group, they admire you. They trust you. They believe you when you talk. I don't think that they wouldn't. And it wouldn't be one of those like, well, I believe that he believes what he is saying, which I'm sure...
That's the terms that I use. That's the term that I use.
Well, I will put this to you. If Eric said to you, dude...
Yeah, I believe him 100%.
100%.
Yeah, there's nothing Eric...
100% yeah. Eric is the same way with you. Ben, same way with you. Like, these dudes trust you. And, like, the reason that I spot that and I'm like, no, they got your back is because, like... It is very rare to see that 100% faith trust.
Fair.
You see more like talking shit, or I don't know if I believe him, or like, you see more doubt than you do faith. And that group, no, they believe you. They believe you.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's get back to how does this work?
Oh, okay.
We kind of got off topic.
We did get off topic.
So
sorry.
like, how does it work? So like, you have the ability to talk to spirits.
Okay.
And
So I need you to kind of like reframe the question.
okay.
Because it's very broad. How does it work? How does it work for what? Because you've seen me do a lot.
So for example, like I mean, I guess not how it works, but like you can just tell me your experience, I suppose. This one example that always comes to mind for some reason that sticks out because I was completely sober. That's why it sticks out. When you were sleeping.
Oh God, yeah.
And you woke up. Oh, there's two actually.
There's two?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already talked about them on the show when you were doing your first interview of part 1 and 2, episode 2 and 3. But so there's a story that we shared of when you were talking to the lady who was familiar with the grounds that we lived on.
Yes.
At the time it was an apartment complex. When she was there, it was not.
Right.
It was just woods. So like, if you can remember or if you can articulate, like, how did that start?
Okay. I was feeling very anxious, right? And it's like this is something that I'm just now starting to realize.
You are, and this is something this is still new. It's still ongoing. We're still both learning about it.
Very much. Very
this
much.
isn't a confirmed science.
No.
This isn't a...
But what I am learning is that I get this really anxious feeling, and it'll be like...
Before it starts?
Way before. I mean, like, hours. Even days sometimes. And it'll be like pace, and I won't be able to let go of something. So it'll be like a repetitive thought, and it'll be just a circular thought. Like, I kind of feel like what you saw today is I'm on the verge of something. But because
you've been very hyperactive today,
I had to talk it off with another person, and I got it all out there. I think I'm going to be all right. It's going to pass.
So what you're saying is you get this energy inside you and you get very hyperactive.
So what it is,
and you have to work through it, otherwise. I mean, so do you think like the energy that you're experiencing right now, I can see you fidgeting with your thumbs. Do you think that this energy is the start of it?
Yes, so that's why I said let's talk about this, because there are moments when I have this like understanding. Okay, so it's like how I told you before, I can just know stuff, right?
You did.
I can walk into a room and I can know the history of a person or a place or a thing or whatever, right? I knew, bam, however long ago I decided you need to interview me. There is something here that you want, and I can do it now. And it's something that you want, but you haven't communicated or said out loud or understood. It's a feeling that
you're absolutely right. You're completely correct. At one point, I wanted to be able to interview you not as my wife or not as somebody I know who has this experience, but you as somebody who can do this shit outside of me.
I did not know that. All I knew was I feel open and I can talk about some shit. So let's do that. Let's do that now.
That's perfect.
But to backtrack, I've been up since 1:30 this morning. It is now what? What time is it?
I'm going on 8 o'clock.
PM.
PM, yeah. So not 7 hours, but 12 plus 7, whatever that is. PM,
yes. But I feel good because it's like I'm very productive and I'm doing something and I'm giving, at work, I saw a process and it wasn't working, and I saw the end result. Like, this is where we need to be, and this is all of the facts to get us there.
So these last few days, you've been very
charged.
Active, charged.
Okay. Because it starts out as like observing outside of myself, right? So I can see a problem that needs to be solved outside of myself. And what I'm trying to do is communicate so that we can all fix it and work together and come to a common goal, and it's all going to be okay and it'll be fine. And once we do that, I will feel like I did something great. But what's going to happen is we might do those things, and those things might get fixed. Like some small problems might be resolved, whatever they are, if they're work or if they're a home or if they're whatever. Something will fester, and I'll obsess and obsess and obsess and obsess and obsess, and it's a pacing, and it's a pacing in my mind, and it is a pacing with my physical body. So it's like something will irritate me, and I won't like it, and I will want to fix it, and it will be God, I just want the dishes to be done before I go to work. Every single day this week. I just need the dishes to be done every single day this week before I go to work. Holy fuck, if the dishes are not done every single day before I go to work, I will explode. If I do not ask for help and that help does not come through after I ask for help, I will explode. This is a problem, 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 this is a problem. It'll be about 3 or 4 days of feeling like that. And then it'll be...
You're talking very fast.
I know, but that's what it feels like. And then it'll be a couple of days of this clarity. This is how I solve the problem of the dishes before work forever.
Okay, so...
Here we are. And then at the end of that, it'll be crash and... Holy shit, somebody's been trying to talk to me and I've been blocking them by
Okay, so that's what we're getting at here. Because with what you just described, it could be considered OCD. It could be considered a lot of different things. So, but the way you just ended it there was, if you don't do that stuff, that's when
shit's gonna come through.
The paranormal comes through.
Yes.
So you're doing that shit to block that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's a coping mechanism.
It's a coping, that's exactly. So you have all this shit coming in.
Yes.
And the only way to deflect that is to...
Fixate
your craziness that you do.
It's fixating. I'm fixating on a small issue and I'm making it a big issue so that I can distract myself by creating a solution for that issue to feel productive.
So you turn molehills into mountains,
back into molehills,
in order to
not do this,
block the paranormal stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Molehills into mountains, back into molehills, so that I can feel like I achieved something.
You're focusing your energy elsewhere.
Yes, so that I am not giving me to that. Because if I create a mountain out of my molehill, I'm in control of the size of the mountain. I'm in control of how I react to the mountain. And I am in control of when that mountain becomes a molehill again, right?
Fair enough.
Right. If I give myself to the paranormal... I have no control over any of that.
And I can kind of relate to that because when I did this on the last episode too that I did, but when I go into sleep paralysis mode, what happens is you guys are hearing our dog. Don't email me saying you're hearing like EVPs in the background.
It's the dog.
It's Crowley. But like what happens to me when I go into sleep paralysis mode? And tell me if this is similar to what you're trying to describe to me. I think it is. I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I hear a. And it's like right as I doze off, I hear that noise coming, and I have a certain amount of time until I can either react to that noise and wake myself up, or if I succumb to it, I feel it come into my ear and I just feel my chest release, and then I'm in sleep paralysis. And so when I hear that noise, I have to wake myself up. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But is that similar to what you're telling me when it comes to your paranormal breakthrough?
Yes, except you're awake and you can be at work doing something. You could be driving down the road.
Any time of the day.
Any time that you could be taking a shower, you could be taking a shit any time of the day. So, yes, but so much worse. So you need to be in control of yourself basically at all times, and you feel like if you let go of the control that you have of yourself, bad things will happen. So that's why you fixate. And that's why you are a checklist kind of person. Or maybe you are great at your job, but you are bad at interpersonal communication. You know what I mean? Like, you can get all of the shit done, but like having to deal with other people's bullshit on top of that, bad for you. That's where I sit on the spectrum. I can do all kinds of shit, but I cannot deal with people's bullshit on top of that.
So do you think that your negative feelings of dealing with other people is kind of a key to your gateway?
Dealing with negative feelings of other people makes me tired because it's a lot of emotions.
Because of that tiredness, do you think is that a key?
That it triggers?
It makes you tired, and therefore your like guard is down. Is that possible? Yeah,
because you spend a lot of time walling up so that you're not carrying around their weight your weight.
So with you, and in my opinion, you're probably one of the most like that dog. You're probably one of the most like open people to this that I know. And so the way it works for you, do you think the more exhausted you are, the more what's the word?
Susceptible?
Yeah, that word. To that. You think for me doing 3 podcasts, I'd be good at talking. I'm not.
You are.
I'm just doing shit.
Susceptible. I don't know. I mean, so here, it's noise is what it is. So it's like, if you're going to spend a lot of time having emotional reactions to things, at me, you know? So it's like, hey, do you mind doing this? Or, hey, can you do this? Like,
right, but that's what makes you tired. But is it because of the tiredness?
So that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, if you are emotionally reacting at me, you make me tired because I can feel those things on top of the end game that I'm trying to play here. And
I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is, you're not connected just to the paranormal, but you're connected to
other people. Yes,
okay.
It's the people. If you're gonna throw your weight at me, and that's the thing that, like, probably you've heard me say, and other people have heard me say, but they don't understand what I mean when I say it. Don't make yourself my problem. What I mean by that is, do not have so little control over how you feel in a day that I have to spend the whole fucking day feeling what you're feeling. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with your feelings and my feelings and whatever other responsibilities I've got on top of that all at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you're having a shit day. I feel your shit day. I fucking feel it, and I know it, and I understand it. And what bothers me is you can make a choice to get over it, and you choose not to. You know?
You're not talking to me. You're talking about just
everybody.
Right, you're looking at me.
People that
kind of feeling attacked right now.
I'm sorry, but like people that want to sit aside this time to be sad or be mad or be whatever.
I got you.
It doesn't matter what day it is on the calendar. It doesn't matter. If you want to get caught up on something like that, that's on you. That is not on the people around you. And the people around you, quite frankly, are relying on you to get some shit done. So show up and do it. Like, whether it's your family, your friends, your job, get over yourself. Because those things that happen to you, like, those are terrible things, sure. We've all been through terrible things, though. So, be the best version of yourself every day that you get out of bed. Because if you choose not to be that, what you're doing is making your problems somebody else's responsibility.
Okay. Sure. I agree with that. I don't know where to go from here.
You had another question, I thought.
Well, we're getting distracted with this dog.
Yeah, come on, brother. Good boy. Stay.
All right. So clearly, when it comes to you, I know this just from living with you and stuff. You carry the weight of your day.
Yes.
So do you think that is also?
It could be part of the problem, part of the thing, the gift or whatever, the ability, the power, the not.
I mean, we're still learning. I'm trying to figure this out myself, and that's, again, kind of the goal of my show, is to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And how everything works, because there's no science here. You can't Google it and get an exact answer.
No.
Everybody has their own bullshit hypothesis. And honestly, I listened to one ghost podcast before I started my show. Since I've started it, I listened to a couple episodes of different ones. And the only reason I did that because I've connected with these people.
Sure.
Via social media, and everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions, and I respect all of their opinions. Absolutely, we don't know, and we learn through experience, and everybody has different experiences. And your experience is you had a lot of loss in your family. You lost your brother, you lost your mother.
Yes.
The two people in your life. 2, you have a connection with people, or you can feel people.
Yes.
And you've done that since before those people have passed.
Yeah.
So between those two things, I would say is probably a big trigger, and because of that, you're open to paranormal. So I guess what I'm trying to get, my long-winded rant here is, what makes you a spirit box? What makes you a human spirit box?
I don't know.
Like, I want to know how that works. Like, so you're sitting here, so you're saying that you have all this energy, and if you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do this, and then the paranormal happens. So,
yes.
So when the paranormal happens, what happens? So let's say you don't distract yourself and do the dishes. What happens next?
I feel detached.
You feel detached. What does that mean?
So I can feel myself like coming out of like almost climbing out of my skin, but then like marionetting my body through the day. And
so when you were talking to the lady in the graveyard, not the graveyard, that's the wrong word. When you're talking to the lady in our yard, in our woods, at our old apartment, I remember you were talking, and you were talking. I mean, you were saying words, and then you were listening to whatever was in your head, and then you were talking to whatever's in your head, and then you're asking me how to make it stop.
Okay, I don't remember this.
You remember any of that?
Nope.
Okay.
What I remember from that night is wanting to go outside and then being inside and then wanting to go back outside and then being inside.
But you don't remember talking to her?
No.
See, that's interesting.
No. I remember outside, inside, and then Googling it and finding it and being like, there's my solution, and then going to sleep.
But you don't remember actually talking to her?
No, I do not.
Because you told me. You mean you...
No, honey, I don't remember.
I had to chase your ass through the woods.
Really fast? I don't remember. I know I've channeled for you twice now. I don't remember any of that shit either.
No, I had the last time on recording.
I'm not ready to listen to that.
I'm not either. But okay, so when that's a new development. So when that happens, you don't remember any of it.
No. So that's what I'm trying to say is like I become a part. I am disconnected from myself. So it's really important for me to try to solve a problem before that happens because it's the thing that's keeping me attached.
That sounds kind of scary, not knowing
what's going on. It's terrifying because if I become separated, that's what it is. I become separated. So I have to like stay attached and stay a part of and figure out how to do that, whether it's creating a mountain out of a molehill or, cleaning something or whatever it is. It's just me trying to be here, be cognizant, and be part of this. Otherwise, I slip into the background and then some other shit happens. That's it. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how to control it. These are things that I don't know yet. I don't understand them and I don't know what to do with them. I think I do a pretty good job of only letting good things come through.
I mean, you do a good job. We haven't had any real issues.
Yeah, like I try to make it a good experience, a positive thing, and it's normally only me succumbing to something that is so powerfully anxious or sad, desperate, things that I understand feeling because that's how I would feel if I were them.
Well, that's one thing too. I mean, I have episode whatever it was, I think 5 or 6 or something. Ghost bodyguards. You have your brother and your mom are kind of bodyguards. I feel like my grandma was kind of a bodyguard.
100% your grandma was a bodyguard.
So I feel like I think that we have protection outside of.
We do.
I absolutely believe that. I like looking back. I feel like there were times where I should be fucked up, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So I remember one time in particular, I was in high school and I had like a gasoline can I was drinking, and I was doing the fire stream on the gasoline can.
Idiots.
And I know I was stupid. And at one point, the flame was like dancing around the nozzle of the gas can. There's no reason that shouldn't have blown up.
My brother did that shit too. You idiots.
Stupid. But I mean, and then I have several instances. Near car accidents today. I was talking to you, and a lady ran a red light.
Yeah.
And I should have. I mean, if I was a bad driver, I would have hit her.
Yeah. Everybody's got things like that, though.
Sure. Absolutely.
And they all have a little bit of something. Everybody does. That's, the grandma or the whatever.
Sure. That's fair. But I do feel like we have a little bit of protection, and that's why we haven't had a whole lot of negative experiences probably in this house.
100%. Yeah. Like, it's not just the house. It's...
Well, us. I mean, by the house, I mean...
Yeah. I don't have negative experiences because I also openly cry out for help to my mom and my brother, and I tell them, I need you. I'm losing it. I need something. Please help me. I don't think I've ever told you that. But yeah, like I will, when I start to feel like I am so dug down, like can't get up and I can't control it and I need help, I cry out to the people that I basically stay open for and tell them, like, I either need you or I can't talk to you anymore. So help me. And help comes.
Okay. So, I mean, that's just, again, proving more that you're open to that kind of stuff. And so, like, what does that mean? So, what, I don't know if we can get too personal or not, but what is the kind of situation where you would call for help, and how would that help arrive?
So, I need help is I can't stop obsessing over something.
So that's when your mind kind of goes crazy.
Very crazy. Like I can't stop pacing, and I can't stop myself from thinking. For me, actually, I can think back now. It started Saturday for me. It's been since Saturday. I
start spiraling a little bit.
And it'll be like I'm going down the rabbit hole, and there's nothing, and I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it except for like talk it off. And God, I just hope like I have a living, waking audience that will let me talk it off and make me feel calm. That's the thing that not everybody understands when I'm spiraling, is like, I just need somebody to tell me it's going to be okay and to prove to me it's going to be okay, and then I can shut down and it's going to be fine. If I don't have anything here telling me it's going to be okay, I got you, it's fine, you're safe, gone, something's going to happen. And when that happens, I don't know, it's like a part of me on the inside is kind of screaming a little bit and crying at the same time. But at the same time, I'm just going to work and I'm coming home.
Well, I mean, the day doesn't stop.
Nope. And I'm just doing my thing. But on the inside, I am 100% something's not right. I don't feel right. It's not right. I don't know. And I'm not sleeping. And I'm, nothing is working the way that it's supposed to. And it's frustrating. And what do I do? And then, I don't know. I will hear a big thing that will start to happen is when I am starting to fall asleep or when I'm waking up, I will hear conversations. I will hear people talking.
I've had that happen to me several times.
Yeah.
I had that happen when I was saging the house last week.
See, yeah, but it'll be like when you're asleep and I'll hear it and then I'll wake myself up and I try to not dwell on what that is. And then it'll be, what I really don't like is when I'm like in situations with people and it happens a lot at work and stuff, but it'll be like I can just feel what they're feeling. Like I feel their frustration. I feel that and what I hate is like I can be sitting across from them and be like, I don't know, your grandma used to really always keep vanilla wafers stocked in her cabinet. And
holy shit, she did.
Oh, I was just giving like a hype. See, this is what happens. I just get this. But I would be sitting in a review with my boss and get that. I didn't know that. But that was an example that I was coming up with.
I never ate them. They were gross.
Right. So like today, like I'm getting a one-on-one with my boss. And my boss is saying, I've got a goal that I want to set for you. And the whole time he's talking, I'm thinking, Red Jolly Ranchers, why? And, okay, yep, that sounds good. I can totally do that. And hair curlers? Why the rolly hair curlers? Green hair curlers. Why? And then it's, okay, like I love what you're doing here and I want to see more of that. And, but one thing that you can improve on is this. Do you have anything for me? And when he asks me to give him feedback, I'm trying to think of his own performance and not, four-wheeling, but the four-wheeler doesn't fit right. Like it's too small.
So you're just like kind of being a psychic.
I'm reading people.
Right. Reading,
yes.
That's a good way to put it. Reading people.
That's it. Like a book. All day. And I'm trying not to do that. And I'm trying not to have it slip into conversation. You know what I mean? So it'll be like, and it's a good and a bad thing because sometimes it's like, hey, are you having a bad day? Do you need to go on a break? Do you need something? Can I help you? And they feel so relieved. But it's also a terrible thing because it's like I'm sitting in a room full of people that are my bosses and I know.
And they're loud.
Very loud. Very loud. And it'll be like, you have a favorite blankie. Loser. Or
hey, don't be talking shit about it. I have a new favorite blanket. It's my Halloween blanket, and it's amazing.
I got that for you.
Yeah, and it's
but
amazing.
It'll be like,
I brought it to a bachelor party.
You have a favorite blankie from when you were 4. Or you sucked your thumb until you were 9.
Okay, don't be talking shit about me here.
Or like these are the things that happen though. You put me in I hate meetings. You put me in a meeting and it's like, oh, okay, you want to be seen as a victim because this terrible thing happened to you. Yep, that's sad. Or, oh, you hate taking out the trash. Or, like in your own home, though. It's not, you hate taking the trash out. No, you hate taking out the trash at your home, and you and your husband fight about it. And why does he put his cigarettes out in the kitchen sink? That's disgusting. Why do I hear that shit?
That's weird.
That's the shit that I hear. That's what happens. It'll be like, oh, so your husband puts his cigarettes out in the kitchen sink by turning the water on and holding a cigarette butt in there and then putting it down the garbage disposal.
So you hear that from somebody. Like, you can see that person, and that's what comes into your brain.
While they're saying sentences to me. Yes. They will speak to me, and then I hear a detail.
See, that's what I wanted to know. That I don't know how to ask. I've never really been told.
But that's how it starts. It starts with those. So it's like kind of how I explain like the scent, like you get a smell or whatever. So like we'll be sitting there talking and then all of a sudden, oh, that's how you take your coffee. And then bam, your grandpa wants to talk to me now. It's like that. It's, oh, your favorite like laundry detergent is Gain mixed with Tide or whatever the Bounces dryer sheets are, whatever. I will get that kind of a detail from you that I should not have, and then boom, dead person wants to talk to you. It'll be the thing that person knows about you, and that person is coming to me with that detail so that I will look at you and say, you have a favorite cup. Or you only set your volume in increments of 5. Or you only,
Like weird details.
Something that nobody would know because you wouldn't even think to bring it up in a conversation. I will look at you, know that, and then bam, have a message. It's like, boom, validation, boom, listen to me.
That's weird, right?
So weird. Welcome to my brain. Like, that's what that is. Like, I only like to run the dishwasher when we all go to bed because it's too loud to play over the TV. Can you please tell my nephew I said hello? Like, that.
That's the shit that you hear out when you're at work.
Yeah, or at a restaurant. Like, you know how I always want to be home because it's quiet?
That's fair. Yes, you do.
Because it's quiet?
It kind of reminds me of, like, the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg.
God, it's been so long since I watched that.
But like,
I get what you're saying,
but like, Patrick Swayze is the ghost, and he's talking to Whoopi Goldberg, and she's just like, what the fuck? And she like...
Yes, it's kind of like that, where he's like, ditto. He tells her, say ditto.
And she says ditto.
And she's...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that, and then here's some, like, insane detail about this person that I don't know, and while I'm saying it out loud... I don't know if it's the truth or not because I don't know this person, right?
Fair.
So I don't know if that's who's really trying to talk to you or not. That's why I don't feel comfortable relaying anything because it's like, just because they know you doesn't mean that that's who you want to hear from.
Absolutely.
So I spend a lot of time just trying to be quiet.
I mean, and I totally get that too. And what I do know, at least I think I know, just from my experiences and doing the show and stuff, and I do believe that ghosts want to be heard if they can be heard.
I don't like when you call them ghosts.
I don't either, but I don't know what to call them. Like spirits? Entities?
People.
They're
people. They want to be heard.
Okay, people want to be heard. And if you are sensitive to hearing them...
You're going to hear them.
You're going to hear them.
And I do. A lot. It's like, I don't know. It's like, oh, my favorite color is purple. That's my grandma, or that's my aunt, or that's my daughter.
I mean, they just want to be heard. It can have to be heard. I hate being not heard. You know that. My sister's for sure know that.
Yep.
Everybody that knows me knows that.
Quite frankly, your sisters know that, and your sisters hate not being heard too. So.
Well, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, I like to be
family.
I don't like being ignored, and I'm very good at not being ignored.
So imagine that, but
right, and that's not going to go away when I die.
But imagine that, but with unlimited resources. Just tap tap. And now I get to make you look crazy. And, oh, that makes me excited because now I can control you. Tap, 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 tap.
And a lot of times, I mean, maybe that's what they're thinking. They're just, doing their thing and, not being heard. This guy can hear me. This guy can hear me. Oh, shit.
This girl can hear me.
This girl can hear me. This guy can hear me.
This is what, so, like, you're kind of getting there. Here's what it's like. They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They know some people can hear them and they know some people can't hear them. And they also know when they are being ignored. This is the thing that we've been fighting about a little bit. They know when they are being challenged or pushed back against or whatever. And because I'm authoritative, I guess.
Not you.
Right? Or honest or whatever. They trust me enough to tell me to tell people things. I will fight them off as much as I can if I don't feel like doing those things. But, sometimes it's easier to go with the flow. I've told people sometimes, like, oh, I don't know, like, do you like bean sprouts? Like, I'll make conversation and then try to, like, relay it to, well, I just noticed you live a very active lifestyle, or you're kind of thin, or I don't know, I like bean sprouts too. Let's talk about bean sprouts. Like, it's just I can play it off to a degree, but they come to me because they can trust me. They tell me things because they want to be heard. They're so desperate to be heard, they'll talk to anybody, and they get so excited when somebody can finally hear them. They think that by talking to me and me talking to their loved one, they will listen to me. Not, oh, thank God, somebody's hearing me, the dead person. It's, she can get that live person to listen.
I see. So you're like a conduit.
It's not they want to be heard by me.
I know what you're saying.
They want their message to get across to the specific person that they want to hear it.
You can tell this person this, so you should go do that right now.
Yes.
I see.
It's that. That's what it is. It's like that.
So they don't give a shit about you, per se.
Right. It ain't got shit to do with me. They don't feel valued because I can hear them.
Well, and that's kind of how I felt, honestly, when I heard on that spirit box that my passed away uncle was talking to me. Like, we were never close. He's just here because I know somebody who he wants to talk to. Right. That's exactly how I felt.
That is what that is. And it's them saying, listen to me and go talk to so-and-so.
That's what that was.
That's what this is all of the time for me. In my brain. But it starts with a very unsettling and uncomfortable and unfamiliar detail about the person that I am talking to.
Right.
So that I can validate it and then move on to the next thing.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to add while we're talking?
No, I don't know. Any other questions you might have?
I really don't. At this point, I think you pretty much explained it all.
Okay.
For the time being.
For the time being.
So I can go ahead and wrap up your second appearance on Paranormal Axetivities.
Technically third.
Technically fourth. It's probably going to be a two-parter.
All right.
But
technically fourth.
I don't like to go over an hour, and this definitely went over an hour. So it's going to be your fourth appearance via 2 interviews on Paranormal Axetivities.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Huge thanks to Dena for joining the show again. It's a fun interview. It's always a good time. Her and I have pretty good chemistry, I think. So I really enjoyed that episode and really enjoyed that interview. Hope you guys did as well. So let me know what you think. You can hit me up on all the social media platforms. I'm on Facebook at Paranormal Axetivities, Twitter at Axetivities, actually. And guys, next week, I have a huge episode for you. I interview, her name is Kathleen O'Keefe Genavos. She's been on shows like The Doctors. She's been on Dr. Oz. She has been on NBC News. She has written 2 books. The latest one is called Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. And she it's fascinating to talk to. She has really great stories, really great insights. We dive into like paranormal sleeping, if that makes sense, and talk about dreams and how the paranormal crosses over to the dream world. And it was really a great interview. I can't wait to share it with you guys. And yeah, so just keep on listening. Again, tell your friends, tell your family, hit that like button, hit those share buttons, hit the subscribe buttons, hit all the buttons, all of them. All right, guys, and be safe. I really appreciate you, and let's just keep learning together.